morning and welcome to a very special Friday edition of Bradford Brooks. Jim Brooks, Margie Bradford. And Margie, we have a beautiful Friday afternoon outside the studio.
It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous.
Well, get off the air. I'm going to hop on the tractor and do a little bush hogging, I think. Trying to catch up now that we've had the rain. The grass is greening back up.
Yeah, you better wear a mask out there. You're going to be breathing in a lot of dust, kid.
Oh, I know. I've learned that lesson time and time again. Had to relearn it a few times.
Yeah.
Well, Margie and I are joined this afternoon. A very special guest who actually has his own radio show, but we decided to bring him back on Friday, Judge Executive Tim Hutchins.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Well, I'll tell you, there's been so much going on lately. I thought, Margie and I thought it'd be a good idea to maybe address that. There's so much, well, I'll be nice and say stuff circulating around social media. And some of it's true, some of it's old, some of it's not newsworthy. But, I can imagine as the top county official, it tends to make your job a little more complicated.
Well, it's fake news. I mean, you've heard me say that before, fake news. And, everybody heard of Paul Harvey over the years, the rest of the story. So that's kind of what I'm here for, because it's easy to put out statements and don't back it up, or back it up with half truths, or don't have the documentation to back up the whole story. So, and just to be real clear, your buddy Don Thrasher, I'm gonna get it out there early today, is the Facebook troller or whatever they call it. I guess that's all he does, and I guess he don't have a full-time job. And he came back to life after about a year, and now he's after and attacking. I think he's done lost 4, 5, 6 elections, and the word is he wants to run for Senate, and he wants to run for judge again, and whatever. And all I can do is tell him to get in line. And he puts all this stuff out. And the problem I've got with that is on his Facebook stuff, which I don't do much of. Mm-hmm. My wife does it for me, but you get on his so-called site, and then people that I know, well, a lot of people's call me, put stuff on there, and he won't put it on. Anything that's positive toward the county, he won't put it on. And then they've taken it down. So that's a fact, and I can, I got all kinds of people can testify to that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is, Nelson County Overwatch or some kind of bull crap out there.
Well, for those of us who don't get on those venues and have not the slightest idea of what you're talking about, can you be a little more specific?
Well, he's going after, when he campaigned against me and I beat him back in the primary, and I tried to bring him on and agree, and then he went out and attacked, and he's threatened lawsuits, and he's sent emails last year and a half, and threatened me with all kinds of attorney general's rulings and lawsuits, and I'm not doing all this, and I think I proved him wrong in every case, and there may be something out there that I may not have done correctly. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I try to run everything we do, run through the county attorney and the CACO attorney to make sure we're doing everything within and above the law.
Right.
And there's a lot of laws I don't agree with, and there is some stuff in the gray area, but he's just everything. He's ran down my staff and chief deputy at the sheriff's department where all this stuff started. And when we had a disagreement over a CAD system, they call it Central Square that they've been using. I'll be here all day trying to understand it. Do you know what 10/8 means, Margie?
No. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Do you think anybody in Nelson County, other than the people that involved, knows what a 10/8 means?
Well, 10/8 was a term used. Well, it's used in public service, but also CB radio.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the long story is trying to get this clear. Is
the name of the company provides CAD.
They've been using Central Square, they call it. It's the CAD system for all the emergency stuff.
Yeah, computer-aided dispatch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's only 3 of them in the whole state of Kentucky. That's 3 agencies that uses the Central Square. We, when I say the dispatch, came under the fiscal court about 2 years ago with everybody's full support, except for some people at the sheriff's department didn't like it. Mm-hmm. They wanted the control. I don't know what the hell they wanted. Previous administration, Joey Pruitt he was emergency management. He wanted to do it. The dispatch wanted to do it because it needs to be under somebody that has a boss. And they wanted it, the city, the mayor, they all agreed to put it under the fiscal court, under the judge. like I need another headache, but we took it on, and we're trying to move it up to the next level, and we're doing it. And so we got all this equipment. Well, Central Square, the system went down, part of it went down, and we had people out there risking their lives, and that might have been in the southern end of the county, different places, and we could not. And Sean at the dispatch, he can confirm this. Brad Metcalf will confirm this, probably even Joey Pruitt, where the system went down, and we couldn't get anybody to fix it. And we had people out there with no contacts, and it's very unsafe. So we brought it to the attention. And then the chief deputy at the sheriff's department didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it. He didn't want to hear it. I met with the state police. I met with the California guy, then the E-Town went with 10-8, and I think all of the state dispatch systems use what they call the 10-8 system. So I called several meetings and back and forth. So I've got the city to agree to it, dispatch agreed to it, even got the sheriff's department to agree to it. We're going to go to this new system. Well, the chief deputy's throwing a fit, sent me an email and accused me of lying, I think. And I know he accused Brad Metcalf of lying, the 10-8 people of lying. I had a guy come here from California when we met. They can build this system. You know, you're a computer guy, and you can't do it overnight. So, you know, next thing you know, they started all this controversy about that. So we had a meeting, and the very next day, your buddy Don Thrasher came back to life and started asking for open records from, and I mean, we're not hiding anything, but you know how much time it takes for the county attorney and my staff to do all these open records? I'm probably talking about 40, 50, hell, it may be 40, 30, 40, 50, I don't have me, a bunch. I got about 10 more to do when I get back. And it's not like we're hiding anything, they're just trying to act like they're stirring up stuff. Well, it all came from one person. When I sent all this stuff and questioned the chief deputy in this meeting, and when I told, and I'll just be point blank, I told the sheriff, I had a meeting with him, I said, you've lost 15 deputies in 2.5 years, and I got a problem with that. We gave them $6.58 raise since I've been there, the fiscal court. And they lost 15 deputies. And if you don't see that's a problem, I mean, you need to look in the mirror. And then he puts a statement out I think you got. And then so I brought it up, and I did exit interviews. That's what really stirred them up. I did exit interviews. As a county judge, not only there, I've done them at animal control, I've done them at I think I did one or two, maybe one at the road department, I've done it some at EMS, I've done several at dispatch, exit interviews, because I think I want to do my due diligence as a county judge to make sure if we got problems in any departments, we want to fix it.
Right.
Now, everybody's not going to agree. Some people's going to leave. Some people's going to get fired, whatever. But when you use 15, they try to put all this stuff out, said we've had all this turnover. Well, what they try to compare apples to apples is not true if you've seen all this Facebook stuff. That we've hired a lot of part-time people. There's a lot of part-time people to jail. We took over the dispatch. It's probably got, I don't know, I probably have that on my phone. A lot of part-time people. And we've expanded EMS. We put another ambulance on, so you got to add more part-time people to provide better services for the community. So that includes, you know, more personnel.
Sure.
So are the people that you were talking about, officers you are talking about losing, were they all full-time people, or were any of them part-time? Full-time,
trained, going through the academy and going through the system. And when I brought that up, and it goes back to the common denominator on just about every one of them there's one reason, the chief deputy. And the retaliation and everything that he does, and they call it bullying, they call it whatever. You know, I'm not going to take it. So then he started the very next day coming after me with Don Thrasher and the chief deputy also, tons and tons of stuff. And then you get to see the correlation and making all these accusations. They went against my staff. They went against my people, against me, and acting like we're doing something wrong. And I'm telling you right now, we're busy. I could use another one. That's how busy we are, because we've got a lot of programs, a lot of things we're doing, all the safety programs. And so I'll just clear it up right here. Catherine Beavers, she's my stepdaughter. She's not my daughter, she's my stepdaughter. There's no nepotism. I cleared it through KCO. I cleared it through everybody. Fiscal court approved her hiring. I didn't do the interview. My treasurer did the interview. I didn't do the advertisement. The treasurer did the advertisement. crystal clear, and she's one of the best employees I've got, and I know you knew her background, and she does, so she's finance director, she does grants, she does all the training, safety programs, and I mean, there's not enough. I could use another one of her.
Right. Well, Catherine brings a substantial background and experience with her, too.
Oh, yeah, and then she's got all kinds of HR background and all this stuff, so they went after her personally and asked for her personnel records.
Yes.
Okay? Let me just tell you real quick. Well, wait a minute, Marjorie, I'm on the row here.
I know, but I want to know which role you're on. Are you talking about the establishment of something to look at something, or?
They're challenging my staff and saying that we're doing something corrupt or illegal in the hiring practices.
But who is saying it?
Don Thrasher.
Don Thrasher.
Don Thrasher.
And the chief deputy.
And the chief deputy. Okay.
Now, the chief deputy may not be doing some of this.
Because you were talking about one and then you were talking about the other.
Well, yeah, just put them both together and put them in the same basket. So here's this statement and document these people can see here that they went after her personnel file. Mm-hmm. The chief deputy did. And we sent it to him, all the stuff in her file. Mm-hmm. And the next day, Mr. Thrasher, or that afternoon, he had all of her personnel stuff on the Facebook. Mm-hmm. He didn't ask for the open records on this.
He did not.
This came from the chief deputy. He's the only one that asked for the stuff. We sent it to him, and the next day or that night, Don Thrasher had all of her personnel file on open Facebook. Mm-hmm. And now, if you don't call that manipulative and harassment and bullying and retaliation, I've got it all right here.
Well, and, I know that legally it's all public record, but to do that to a single person.
Well, it's legally, some of it may not be when you've got a county employee asking for this stuff and send it to a private citizen. This is people's private personnel.
Right.
Personnel policy.
Yeah, that's what it's.
Right.
Now, the legal side of it, we're going to find out later because there's going to be challenges already. Probably going to be lawsuits and everything else filed. Mm-hmm. And I'm ready to go because I'm not dealing with it no more. And put her out there and trying to ruin her reputation is another thing.
Exactly.
So I'm just letting you know I'm trying to get everything crystal clear here, and I can go. I got documentation, and anyway, y'all can ask me questions. I'll get all fired up about it.
Tim, I just make sure the public knows, as a journalist of 35 years, one of the things that happens, you can request open records and get the records, but you get them out of context. Like when they look at budgets and things like that. If you don't have somebody who can explain what that means. I respect Don, but a lot of
I don't respect him at all.
A lot of his open records requests, and for example, I'll give you a quick for example. When his content he's posted about Brad Metcalf, who's the deputy judge executive and our emergency manager, complaining about him having a truck. Well, now I've been involved in emergency management as a volunteer going back to 1999, 2000.
Right.
And every emergency manager has had access to a county vehicle. That's you need that. And I saw that and I thought there's no story there.
There's no story there. We got
You bought a truck.
He needed a truck. We had to have a truck, and the truck that Joey Pruitt was using, and we haven't bought. That's one thing, and they could testify to this. All in my different departments, I haven't bought any new pickup trucks since I've been there for them. I said, y'all gonna run them till they run them in the ground.
Right.
In his case, we needed one because we used that old red truck and down there and pulling all this the trailers. So Brad pulls like we was in Boston. Mm-hmm. You know how many trailers and food and stuff for all these poor people down there is losing everything we've sent using that truck back and forth, and you can't do it in a half-ton truck like I got, or you're going to burn the transmission out, which I did. And I don't have no new truck. I could put it in the budget and buy the county judge a new truck, probably. I got some other departments that are getting some miles on them, but back to that subject, he's trying to make it an issue. He's got a new pickup truck that we use for everything. Right. Everything. But anyway, you said respect. I have no respect for him. None. Zero.
Well, then he went after. Now, this is the second time he's gone after Brad for his experience in the legislature and the the made-up reason that he lost his job in Frankfurt. There's a whole different story out there of actually what happened, and I'm not going to go into it. I mean, this is your hour.
You talking about what, for Brad?
Yeah.
In Frankfurt, all that bullshit? I mean, you telling me I know exactly what happened up there.
Yeah.
And you go back to Hoover.
Exactly.
I mean, it goes back to the speaker. It's all happened under Hoover and all that when he got in all that trouble and this sexting and texting and all that. I know every bit of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hire somebody out here that's a convicted felon or murdered somebody. I know every little detail about it when I hired him.
Well, yeah, and
he was the chief of staff up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's brought a lot of knowledge. I guarantee you can ask every magistrate, every EMA director, everybody in all the counties around us. He's done one of the best jobs, and probably, I don't want to criticize all my employees, but I'm going to tell you right now, he's been excellent.
Well,
excellent.
As I said,
and again, I can use one more. I'm telling you right now, we got a lot of stuff going on to try to expand this county and the services and do the right thing, and I can't do no more.
Well, I will tell you, I think.
But back to that subject, I can't do no more because Mr. Thrasher put my schedule. He wanted my Outlook calendar from the computer, and they wanted on my calendar on my phone. Everybody can see this, but I wouldn't give it. He says he's going to go to the Attorney General. I said, well, go. I've got 4, 5, 6 meetings almost every day. And I got a document. I don't say really document. I can tell you I work about 54 hours every week, nights and everything else. He put a statement out there, what's Hutchins do all day? He had all these blank sheets. You think I'm going to give him all that? It's got my personal stuff involved in it too. And I said, I'm not going to do it. Well, I'm going to challenge it. I said, well, let's go. Let's go to court. I've got attorneys. He can hire an attorney, you know. So anyway, so I told him, yeah, anybody keep up with my schedule, and I think my staff will guarantee you that, how many hours I put in. And my family, I'll tell you that, because they jeopardize, you know, I put a lot of time in. I should be doing more stuff with my family and my kids and grandkids. I've missed a lot of ball games over this job, but I'm dedicated to it. I got elected to run the county, and that's what I'm doing.
Well, just a last note on Brad. He's been one, in my personal opinion, he's been one of the best hires the county government has made.
I appreciate that.
Because he brings so much experience and knowledge.
I appreciate that.
You know, you can't buy that from anybody.
No. And you can't. Anyway, Jim, 348-2222. We're not going to take any phone calls, but we're going to take text. And I encourage anybody who wants to text in any questions. I don't know how you're getting them up there or how you're getting them, but 348-2222, and you can text in anything. We're not going to do the headphones and be on, you know, as far as talking all day. We got so much to hit here.
Right.
But and another thing Mr. Thrasher put out is all the employees that we've been hired and ballooned and all this crap. When we take the dispatch over, that's one department we took over. I've expanded the EMS, expanded the dispatch too, so we can provide better service for the community. You've heard me say it on these shows.
Sure.
If you don't have a good dispatch center, and we have, and we're making it better, you don't have any kind of good emergency services. So we've allowed them to bring another dispatcher on, and it costs us more money to do that, and that means more personnel. Same way with ambulance. We put another ambulance on in the 12 hours. You heard me say to one here, the critical times, we put another ambulance on for the safety of the citizens. That's more money, that's more personnel. And I have decided, and we brought in the fiscal court approval, a lot more part-time people in the jail uses all kinds of part-time people. So when you add all that up, yeah, you got more personnel, but a lot of them's part-time people. We've got, like right now, we got 59 part-time employees.
Wow.
It saves the county a lot of money. And when you do that, you know, when emergencies hit, you can call in sick, you don't have to full-time employees. It costs a lot of money for full-time employees. So, you know, I'm running this place like a business, and that's what we're doing, and I feel good about it. I just met with the insurance today, health insurance company. I don't want to get off track, but we've saved about $1.1 million this past year by going self-insured on our health insurance and providing, I think, better service and insurance, a lot more coverage, a lot more different policies than they ever have. And it's about 1.1 million. I just left a meeting before I came here. And based on if we would stayed with Anthem, that's how much more it would have cost the county. And then the employees would have to pay a lot more. So we've saved, you know, I think it's been a great deal. So that's another subject. I'm running this place like a business, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm not going to be harassed and retaliated against and try to shut me down. That's what I'm here for.
Do your part-time employees have benefits?
No, they don't get any benefits. They usually got another job somewhere and they want to pick up a little extra income and they work, part-time. And that's really the trend especially in the EMS side. These guys work their 24-hour shifts and they work other departments and come in. In the same way with dispatch, they do a lot of that. It's just a trend because they got to work so many hours, they're around, it's a 7-day, 24-hour day, they got to be there all the time.
Well, they have benefits, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. The full-time people do.
Yeah.
So they'll be working, let's say, J-Town, and then they may come in and pick up a day here or there, filling in and making extra money. So, yeah, so it's, Jim, you getting any texts? You can't read them.
Well, some with my glasses on, some with my glasses off. Had a question about do county employees get to have take-home vehicles?
Very, very well. There's very few that do. When you got some people in the road departments that have to take them home, there's an engineer or two. If you have these storms and stuff, they come in, you got to be out on call.
Right.
So there's very few. And to answer that question direct, I don't know for sure, but I don't think it's being abused at all. And I got a good staff, and everybody's doing a great job. But there is a few that they take home. So, Margie.
Yeah.
You was going to ask me something earlier, and I think I cut you off, but the retaliation letters, I guess I would say, and all this stuff that he put on Facebook. Are you a Facebook scroller?
No, not really.
Yeah. There's another thing.
If I see that somebody's posted something and I get notification, I click on it, but I'm not a regular.
Yeah, well, I don't either. I just kind of flash through it, and then people send me stuff all the time, and
so I don't hear all of that. I don't hear all the scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
All right. Got another question for you,
sir.
Somebody was asking about the exit interviews you conducted at the sheriff's office.
Right.
Did did the chief deputy's name come up as an issue?
Multiple times.
Okay.
That's the core problem. That's the core problem. I didn't exit interview all 15 of them.
Right.
Like they accused me of, because when I put that report out, when I said I did exit interviews, actually the sheriff was in this meeting and he got all fired up about it. I said, well, as a county judge, we pay about over $3 million toward that budget, maybe 3.5, and you figure the insurance and retirement and all that. We got, I think, 17 deputies on the patrol side that the county funds, then the sheriff has their budget. And when you do that and all this money come out of fiscal court and the insurance goes through Kentucky Association of Counties, we provide all that liability insurance and everything too.
Right.
So I think the magistrates and the fiscal court should have a lot of say in what's going on, because it costs the county taxpayers money in a lot of cases. So I did not do all 15 exit interviews, and that's what they got fired up about. They think I shouldn't have been there doing any. And like I said, I did several other of my departments also. Not picking on any. I want to make sure there are answers. But the question that you asked, Jim, is absolutely, yeah. The majority of them left because of that. Because they went to the sheriff with problems and he didn't fix them. He would go right back to the chief deputy, and they started what they called retaliation and harassment, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's a legal word, making it hard on them. And they just said, we're not putting up the stuff. And they claim some of the supervisors, and let me be real clear. When I campaigned and got elected, there was a lot of issues about the police, if you remember, with Judge Watts, a lot of friction. And I used it in my election, and I won by that. I think I ended up winning about 70% of the votes. I don't know exactly what it was. And I campaigned on supporting the blue, and I have, and we gave the deputy sheriffs, and I heard all this stuff, $6.58 in raises in 2.5 years, really. Now, and we've got our police department.
Per hour?
Yes, per hour. On top of it, I don't know exactly what total making. Then they get what they call the state incentives of money. They're all getting paid pretty good, better than most departments around the state. I'll tell you, I can get I've already done it. I don't have it with me, but surrounding counties and everybody, because when you get into Jefferson County, Lexington, and some of those places you don't. But, most of them don't want to go down there with all that crime either, murders and everything else. So when I say recruiting good employees, but when you get these good employees coming in and you're losing them, and it's not over money, I mean, I got the facts right here. It's not over money. In my exit interviews, it's not over money. And in 99% of it, it goes back to what I just told you earlier. So, people, did you ask me about that a while ago?
Yes.
What's it say?
There was a statement that the sheriff posted in response to the posting of your memo from I guess Tuesday, stating that you'd gotten a lot of inquiries and you have no control over the sheriff's office.
That's what I said.
The sheriff's, has his own, he's an elected official.
Yes.
And Raymond said that he said he's the elected sheriff. He didn't have a clue what you were talking about. So he's asking people, please stop contacting me to see what he means. Contact him because I don't have a clue.
Contact him as me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you. And he says, I have not intimidated or done anything to the county judge. The word transparency gets used loosely, but half the story gets told.
Well, I'm telling you the rest of the story. Let me have that. I'm going to see all that. I don't know if I've ever seen it or not. Well, if he don't know what's going on in the sheriff's department, and after the meeting I had with him and showing him all the open records that Don Thrasher had asked for, and I sent them to Raymond, he got copies of them that day, and he said he's going to take care of it, and he knows where they came from, who instigated it. He said, I'll take care of it. About like he did with all these other deputies when they went to him against the chief deputy, and he said, I'll take care of it. There's no taking care of it. So that's when they started retaliating against me, accusing me of being a liar and going after Catherine, going after Brad Metcalf. And that's so if he don't know what's going on, well, I mean, maybe that's the problem. Maybe he needs to find out what's going on. But if he says that, if that's what this says, I haven't, what's it say? And I don't have a clue what he's talking about.
Meaning you.
Well, that's not accurate. I gave him all the information that day from Don Thrasher, all those open records. So if he don't have a clue what's going on, he's either he can't hear or he's blind. The second thing is maybe he needs to find out what's going on, but he knows what's going on because I sat there and gave him the information.
Now, in Raymond's defense, he was responding to
this
to that he didn't know what.
No, Jim. No. I gave him those open record requests from Don Thrasher before I put this out.
Right.
But Don Thrasher's not an employee of the sheriff's.
No, but he's the one that went after me before. He's got a history of this stuff, and when he did that,
I know. I guess I'm having a hard time
Yeah.
making the connection between.
Yeah, the connection, I'm going to just tell you because I don't think people understand it. When I get back to the CAD system in 10.8, that's what this started a lot of it on. Nobody in the county, unless they're in emergency services, know what 10.8 means.
Right.
And all of a sudden, he came back and asked me for all these open records requests about 10.8. Thrasher did. Where did he get the information from? Who did he get all this information from? Just like on Catherine. He put it all out there, and he didn't even ask for that file. That came from the chief deputy, and then Thrasher puts it on his Facebook, all that information. It's a correlation in.
So the chief deputy is where's your?
Well, yeah, 100%. He can deny it if he wants, but I mean, if he wants to go to court, let's go. But I'm ready. And so that's when the sheriff tries to say he don't know what's going on. Well, I mean, it's not true. I gave him that information that day, and he acts like he don't know what's going on, and they went and retaliated against and accusing all my staff of lying. I don't take that too kindly. So that is 100% inaccurate.
Got some more texts coming in, Judge.
Oh, yeah. But anybody can text me anytime, too. I'm going to let you know. 249-0816, 249-0816. Even after the show, I get calls all the time. You call me, text me, do whatever you want to do.
Well, what do you think Mr. Thrasher's motivation is?
What has been his motivation? He said he's a community organizer. He's a community disruptor is what he is, and he's a flat out. I mean, I've tried to work with the guy in the past. He's ran for county judge once or twice. He's ran for the state representative once or twice. And he threatened he's going to run again. Then he bowed out. And he ran for Salt River Electric Board and he's gotten beat and demolished in every one of them. And all he does is stir up stuff in the community. And I'm not dealing with it. I don't care what he does.
Let's see, Judge. One question regarding the chief deputy. with the chief deputy taking a plea deal in the whistleblower lawsuit.
That wasn't the whistleblower. That was on the other one.
That's right. It was on the vehicles. The question is the sheriff done anything to deal with that as far as discipline? Because even though the charges were amended down, there was still wrongdoing. They still, at the least, violated procedures that were supposed to be followed. And I had the same question after I saw the plea deal.
You had a question from you personally.
No, this is a question from a...
Yeah, but you're saying you had the same question.
Oh, yeah, because I'm thinking, it's still an admission of wrongdoing. And, I've known enough prosecutors that you don't file indictments unless there's a basis for it. And the grand jury looked at it first. And of course, Raymond being sheriff, he's at the top. So I know why his were dismissed, because there's no evidence of wrongdoing other than maybe knowing what was happening. Because the whole whistleblower thing is that the deputies went to him and nothing happened. But the chief deputy, and I think the world of Brandon, but he admitted to misdemeanor charges, amended them down, and it's still an admission of wrongdoing.
So what's your question? Or what's that question?
Any consequences?
Oh, I've had, you ain't the only one. They've asked me, all kinds of them asked me. I don't know if y'all kept up with it or not, but the Courier-Journal, which I'm a paper reader, even though it gets too damn liberal for me, but and the Kentucky Standard, but they. But I read a lot, and so the Courier-Journal just had this, what do you call it, an investigation reporting, right. And it was all over the Courier-Journal Sunday, Monday. I haven't read it all in detail yet, ain't had time.
Right.
About all the different sheriff departments, and they've got all these different ones, it's all these charges against them, and the governor hadn't dismissed any of them, your favorite governor. And they're still out there with all these charges, and I guess they've been convicted, and still the sheriff, and I don't know how many deputies or not, but I think the General Assembly has a right to remove them. It takes all the votes. It'll never happen. But the governor can do it with just a pencil. So that's all over that. Read those articles. It's pretty interesting.
I have read the article.
You have?
Yeah. Yes,
so,
I have read the article.
And then you get into the answer to this question. That's up to the sheriff.
Yeah.
But you ain't the only one that's asked me this. And that's one reason, all kinds of people ask me, how come he didn't discipline, suspend him, or fire him, or do something? I don't know. They'll have to ask that directly to the sheriff. But that's a question that I get asked a lot. That might be getting too loud, Margie, because I'm getting fired up.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
You couldn't? After we get done here, you're going to have to go out there and have some wine. You got some red wine at home?
No. But white wine, yeah.
White wine?
Yeah, not red wine.
I don't drink wine too much, so. But anyway, there's all kinds of questions out here, and when he started challenging me and my integrity and my staff, I'm telling you, that's when I said it's time to put an end to this.
Well, another text question, Judge. Somebody wants to know what happened to the money that was taken in by the selling improperly. Yeah. Selling vehicles.
Well,
whose pocket did that go in?
To be real clear,
because I don't know.
What I brought up when I brought this stuff out, it had nothing to do with these the misdemeanor charges and all the indictments.
Right.
This had nothing to do with that.
Right.
I can't even answer all the questions about what they got indicted for, other than what I read, just like the rest of us.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, so we did. I think somebody checked or something and said the money, whatever they sold, vehicles, trucks, cars,
right,
it got deposited into their account, sheriff's account. So
yeah, I
think they got clear there wasn't no embezzlement or anything.
It wasn't a case of getting of taking money that didn't belong. It was just a question of doing the disposition of the cars.
Yeah.
Which they shouldn't have. because
Yeah.
they needed to go by a certain process. They didn't go with that process and gave a sweetheart deal.
Well, that's what they said. I don't, again, that's
No,
what the
but
word
I'm
is,
saying that's what I have read.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
That the deal was.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what the judge does. This judge in the fiscal court, we have to follow what I call .gov and all that, and then we got to declare surplus property, and we got to put it online, and we got to sell it to the highest bidder, auction, all that. I can't go out and sell you anything.
Right.
Now, again, I'm not getting in the middle of that case, that court case. It's not what this is about.
Right.
And what they did. But as far as answering that question, is he still working for him? That's his. Again, I don't run the sheriff's department.
Right.
We allocate a lot of money to support that department.
Yeah.
And the Kentucky Association of Counties Insurance, and I've had meetings with them about that. And these high-speed chases, when they hit that school bus out there, it really, really opened my eyes even more. The high-speed chase, and we had that truck hit that school bus. Well, you know whose granddaughter was on that school bus? It had to be mine. It made me think even more when you think about that. And she went to the hospital. And we got sued over, not for my daughter, but we got sued by the bus driver, and I maybe even, and so KECO, which is our insurance carrier, when you get all these lawsuits, I've got this in here somewhere, thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars we've had to pay out. They had to pay out for the county.
I'm a little confused. Are you saying that there was a county vehicle involved in that?
Yes, there was a high-speed chase on Louisville Road, chasing a guy that stole a pickup truck.
By the sheriff's department.
And he crashed into a school bus out there at Cox's Creek and full of kids. Now, we were, and there's all kinds of talk about this. This ain't just coming from me. And all the training that we've established and all the safety stuff we've established in all these departments and every one of them, a lot. In the KECO, I'll tell you, Patrick Conway, he's our carrier. And they'll tell you, and they send me emails and thanks and thanks and thanks and thanks for implementing all these safety protocols in the state or in the county. And that's what we need to be doing and should be doing because it saves lives, injuries, and it saves the county money.
Well, sure.
Anytime you're going to have claims and they pay out, you think our rates will go down next year?
Oh, mine don't.
We're paying about, it may be close to 900,000, 850 to 900,000. That's what our insurance policy is. And it's for buildings and everything and liability.
Yeah.
And you imagine if those kids was getting off that bus, what would have happened? Not for the insurance, not for that. I'm talking about the lives that it could have been mangled or whatever else. Just imagine that. So
are you saying that the chase was not warranted?
It's not warranted. No, I'll come out 100%. They the sheriff has that opportunity to do that, but I'm digging in that a little more. Just about most agencies nowadays don't do them. And go through the KECO training program. I said, what about high-speed chases? Don't do it. I said, well, if it's what if it's somebody robbed a bank? Don't do it. What if it's it? Don't do it. Every answer is don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, because you're going to end up killing somebody's safety out there, walking or whatever, and get killed.
Well, right.
And man, I'm just telling you right now, I'm not in favor of it. You just don't do it. And
well, I think you're exactly right on that.
I appreciate you supporting me, Margie.
I better write that down.
I almost got hit. I'm going to tell you, about 10 years ago.
You don't know who's in that road, and unless that person is a stark, raving, mad criminal who's going to burn the town down, what reason do you have to go 100 miles an hour and try to stop them?
And I got 2 cars blown up, 2 engines right now.
Yeah.
When you do this thing, you get the compression on these engines and look at it, and how many? I've got 2 blown up right now. We just had another one we had to replace a while back. And it costs the taxpayers a lot of money for this stuff. And you go back replacing these employees, you got to get the suits for them and all the uniforms, and you got the vests. You can try to use some of it back, but you can't fit everybody and all that. I mean, it costs the county a lot of money when you have this much turnover. A lot of money. Right. Back to those chases. And I asked them, I've studied this a lot.
So there are there a lot of high-speed chases? I mean,
there's a lot more than you think. The city police doesn't do it. Bullock County doesn't do it. I don't know, V10, most of them are getting away from it because of several reasons. Because of the safety. And in today's world, you got your radios, you got your cell phones, you got these tires.
You got these cameras.
Flock cameras, and they can on the other end, they can meet them, cut them off. You put out the whatever you call the things in the roads. so many things you can do now and what you couldn't do years ago. So
Sure.
I'm gonna come out on record right now. Today, I'm 100% against them. You know how they stop it? Because it gets in there and you're fired up and you're trained and hey, I get it. They want to stop a crime and get it.
Right.
They tell you to stop and turn around and go the other way because it's in your mind, it's in your body, in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just turn around, you call the radio in, and you drive the other way. That's what they tell me. That's how they're supposed to do
Yeah.
it. If you get policy,
Because the temptation.
I'm
would
gonna tell you
be
what I'm
to-
gonna try to do. I don't know if the fiscal court's got authority, but I'm getting ready to try to implement some different policies, and it's going to, something's going to happen drastic.
Well,
On the high-speed chase.
Yes.
Judge, I don't know if the public is aware that of this level of staffing that fiscal court pays for the sheriff's office. And of course, that goes back 25 years to when they disbanded the county police and they became part of the sheriff's office. We have a question not related to what we're talking about. If you want to,
That's fine. Let's go ahead and get it cleared up.
Somebody has a house on Nelsonville Road in Boston area that's been unoccupied for 8 years. And so they've been charged for garbage service, and it's been vacant all that time. And this person said they got the notice from the county that the bill would be placed on property taxes.
Yep.
And so this person's on a fixed income.
Yep.
And
Well, they need to call. There's a number on that. They should have called that form when we sent that letter.
right.
And it's not the first letter that they've gotten. It's funny. It's kind of funny. I told you this in court the other day. You get all these warning letters, and all this stuff from Salt River, and then all of a sudden when you get this letter that it's going on your tax bill, then you kind of wake up and say, oh, it's the first time I ever heard of it. Well, I don't believe that. I don't know who this is at all, but they need to call 348-1800 and ask for Catherine, and she'll take care of it. Because we said there's going to be some mistakes made. We knew that.
Sure.
We've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in garbage bills not being paid. We've got most of them starting to pay them because we made a strong stance that we're not going to let them get by with all this free stuff, and then we're going after the ones that's far behind. So it's going to get cleared up here pretty quick. But there is cases. I don't know the situation, but
Yeah. Well, he said that nobody's lived there and there's been no garbage service needed there.
I understand that, and we can fix it. Yeah.
Okay.
348-1800.
All right, and as for Catherine,
That's another thing she's been taking on. She's been helping Teresa with all of these bills and these garbage bills, and she's worked her rear end off collecting and helping all this money. Not just that, in roll-off boxes, dumpsters, and I mean, we've collected probably close to $100,000 that we went after that we've caught. Now it's going to be another $100,000, and we started this practice. People are finally realizing that they're going to pay their bills.
right.
And so,
Well, Judge, related to
anyway, let's get back on something else. I've been talking about garbage for 2.5 years. I got to get tired of the garbage.
well, we talk about animals, but we'll
All right, let's talk about animals.
No. I was gonna,
Dogs.
I know. I think you said the first month you were in office that you never thought one of the biggest complaints you'd ever get was about.
It's still the biggest,
is it
dogs.
really?
Yeah, and I've got it lined out better. They're getting more calls out there than I'm getting.
Okay.
But you never heard at the end of it. It's dogs, this dog, their dog, and I'll make it real clear here today. Everybody needs to take care of their own animals.
Absolutely.
And it costs the county. We're spending almost $400,000 a year in that budget to maintain that animal control office,
Right.
and that's awful. There's no way we should have to be doing that.
Related to Catherine, somebody texted a question, why did she start, and this goes back to the stuff Thrasher posted.
Yeah.
Why did she start out with like more vacation days or sick days or whatever than a new employee would have?
All right, let me just clear that up.
Yeah.
And I figured somebody's going to plant that question today, and I'm sure it came from you-know-who that started all this stuff and put it all out there out of her personnel file that came through the chief deputy that went out with somebody else. The county judge executive may authorize, well, that's about special leaves of absence and all that. Pending satisfactory service, okay, the employees shall be given consideration prior to the beginning of the fiscal year of increase to the step. And so we don't do step grades. It's different than the city does, and some of them assigned to their position pending on satisfactory service and availability of county funds. This is in personnel file. Especially in hiring exceptionally qualified personnel. And I'll tell whoever is watching all this is crystal clear.
Right.
And the next one here is the county judge is hereby designated as a county personnel administrator. In this capacity, a judge may delegate such duties function as he or she deems fit. So back to answer that directly about Catherine is when I hired, and this goes back, and I don't want to throw the mayor under the bus, but when we hired a new planning and zoning director, which is a quasi-government, we don't have direct control of that.
Right.
And I tried to tell them, and we did, and the first hire we did, we didn't put enough out there because you can't bring in what I call professionals in the administration side of it and bring them in and they're going to go in and start on, they get a week's vacation and on the low end of the tunnel pole, or you're not going to get qualified people. Mm-hmm. So I remember the mayor saying, even at Conway Heaton, when he brings in a mechanic or whatever that's 20 years, he ain't going to bring him in at $20 an hour, you're not going to get qualified people. And he said the same thing at the city. Mm-hmm. Well, when we hired Sean Moore at the planning and zoning, did the same thing. He's not going to come here and take, low end. He's qualified 20 years experience. And if you're going to bring these people in and try to help you manage and have a good community, so you got to bring their salaries and their benefit package up to the comparable competition around the state.
Right.
So let me get back on that. So when I say that, we've done that with Sean Moore as in the quasi government, you say, and we're working on that right now. And the economic director that we've been interviewing, we're going to have to, they're not going to come in and get a qualified person on the low end. And so when I brought my electrical inspector in, same way, highly qualified, trained, experienced. I did the same thing, Jim, to your question. Catherine, same way with the, what's his name? I can't remember. My electrical inspector did the same thing. Brad Metcalf, you think he's going to come in here and work with no benefits? He could have got a job anywhere. Who else did I do? I did, let's see, there's 3, 4, Sean, the electrical inspector, Vanessa over in codes, and there's one more. There's about 5 or 6 of them that we've done, and I'll stand behind that 110% if you're going to bring in qualified, experienced people in those positions. And, Jim, same thing, I got a text or email from somebody today in the sheriff's side, because there was a question out there. Well, they buy out contracts from other counties or departments when they get their training, and so the sheriff has bought out contracts, which is what I call an extra benefit, and I don't have no problem with that. We do the same thing. I think we've done a couple at the road department where they get the CDLs, whatever, and they go to work for whatever county and they buy their contracts out. So that's what you call an extra benefit. But we have the authority to do that, and that's just a common practice.
Right.
So they try to single out Catherine. I'm sure this is Don Thrasher's buddies or him. I'll just bring it out there. I'm not going to hide it, and that's fine. That's the direct answer to the question. If he wants to challenge me, I'm going to hold it up here so he can do it.
Well, Judge, I had in regard to your favorite open record requester, meaning Don, somebody that uses Nelson County Overwatch said they posted compliments to you and county government other officials, and they keep getting deleted from that Facebook page.
I wonder why.
Well, Don Thrasher is one of the administrators as well.
Yeah, well,
they learned.
So that's what they found out. And I've had this from multiple people calling me. So we put stuff on there and it won't come up. Put stuff on there and it won't come up because he won't let it come up. Mm-hmm. And he wants to come on here and debate. I said, I'd encourage you to get Thrasher sitting. We'll get him over there. I don't get too close to him. And me and him have a debate about anything, and you can be the moderator if you want to do it. I encourage him to come on. That's fine with me.
Well, we might.
But I don't have no use for him. I'm going to tell you, I'll be point blank about it. And it's like my buddy Trump said, you got an enemy like that, he's an enemy. That's the way I believe too. I've tried to help him, tried to bring him in, met with him, and then he turned around and stabs you in the back. That's what I think of him.
Well, Judge, we've got about 8 or 9 minutes left.
Yeah.
What do you want to cover before we run out of time?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you asked me questions. You want to call and want to do the show.
Oh yeah, I've got all right, I got a question. I know that I've back years ago, talked to Dean about the agreement with the moving the county police under the sheriff's office. And of course, that was a much smaller group of people at that time, but of course, everything's grown and expanded. And he said, and I don't remember the document, but he said that he had an out in case there was a sheriff elected that he could not get along with, and that the judge executive could withdraw from that agreement and also withdraw the county's funding of the positions that it funds currently.
I'll tell you what, to answer that question, I've studied this pretty good, and
is that a
back in October 5th of 1999,
okay,
and I was a magistrate. I told this story the other day, and Sheriff Jimmy Riley was a good friend of mine, and he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
We had a county police and the sheriff's department. Mike Newton was the chief of police on the Nelson County side.
Right.
And we had talked to Jimmy about this too, about merging the departments. And I did, because I was a very active magistrate, and because I wasn't a judge. And we set a committee up to start looking at it. And Amos Gritton and Raymond and the judge was on it to start it. And then October 19th of 1999, there was a proposal from the committee to merge those departments. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then, in January 18th of the year 2000, like I say, Sheriff Riley had passed away. You remember Jimmy very well.
Yep.
The judge Watts at the time, he did an executive order disbanding the police. And I got all this stuff right in here.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you all the stuff, the funding, and a lot of details in here. This term of contract initiated goes for, I think this one was for 6 months, and then it will automatically be renewed
Right.
unless terminated by either party.
Right.
And the attorneys I've talked to is, I think I can do it. Well, I would want to go through the magistrates and make sure, because I've got a very good group of magistrates,
Mm-hmm.
very supportive of everything I've done and what we have done together. And the county is, but this black eye on this community with all this stuff going on is not good.
Right.
I think I can do it with an executive order like Dean did.
Mm-hmm.
So do what exactly?
Started in Nelson County Police and pulled our money out of the sheriff's department.
So you would consider
I'm
having
considering
a separate
highly considering it.
separate
Yes.
police department?
I'll tell you the reason. There's several
And
reasons.
would that do away with, in other words, you're talking about doing away with the office of sheriff?
No. That's a statute, state statute. The sheriff,
Right.
he has to maintain the courthouse. He collects taxes. That's his main, if you look at the statute, that's crystal clear. And I don't even know about serving the papers and the summons. I think that could be done even privately when you dig into it. So, and it says right in here, real clear, and I've talked to Judge Watts about this. We talked about it. It says a merit board. They should jointly formulate a merit board. And he couldn't remember, but there's not a merit board been established.
Yeah.
That's per KRS 7.260, 7.273. It's real clear in this fiscal court order. Now, and then it also says the chain of command. The county judge, executive, and the sheriff shall determine the chain of command for employees in the sheriff's office. I mean, that's pretty broad, pretty big.
Right.
Now, what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm telling you to tell the whole world out there right now in the county that I'm looking into a lot of changes going to be made. Well, we're spending close to $3.5 to $4 million subsidizing, and they going after me and my staff and putting a black eye on everybody and accusing us. And all we're trying to do is put in better equipment, maintaining better service, giving all the employees raises, $6.58 an hour, and you got 15 deputies leaving for mainly two reasons, and they think I want to back down, and they're going to try to discredit me and my staff. It ain't going to happen under my watch. And I've got another year and a half to go, for sure. And
have you talked to the sheriff about sitting down and
I haven't talked about that yet.
Discussing these things?
Not yet, I haven't. I talked to him about those other things,
Well,
yeah.
it seemed like that should be kind of a first step.
Yeah, I mean, I got a phone, and I got my doors open too.
I know, but you're the one
Executive
saying
order.
things, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying things, but I want to clear it up. I'm what they call the highest elected official in the county is what they keep telling me. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but end of the day, I got a year and a half to go for damn sure. And what happens after that, I don't know. But
Well, Tim, I have to ask you, is revising that agreement something you would consider as well, instead of starting a county police?
I'm not saying I'm gonna start a county police, but I'm telling you, I'm looking at it, and I think I can do it. And with what's going on, and I think it might be time to do it. And there's some revisions. Oh yeah, there's a lot of options out there, but. When they crossed that red line, I told the sheriff that day when he's in there and Mr. Thrasher, and I gave him all those documents, I said, who'd he come from? And he said, well, only one person I can know of. And he said, I don't know, first time I seen it. Then he sends this thing out, he don't know what's going on. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know what's going on, either you're lost or you better find out what's going on or you wouldn't have all these damn problems. And the second thing is you better find out what's going on. And I told him right then, he didn't cross that red line with me. Crystal clear. And then they come out from my employees and their personnel files.
Yeah, you're speaking of
The sheriff?
Sheriff.
Yeah.
the sheriff came after you.
It's his department. It wasn't him, it was his chief deputy and Don Thrasher. But when the sheriff runs the office, he's got to know his employees. He has to control his employees. And so that's what I'm gonna, Jim, you called me, you said you want to do an interview, so here I am. You got any more questions?
Well, we're just about out of time. Anyone
You want to extend it anymore? We can go on another hour.
Well, trust me, it's been a vigorous discussion, and I think...
You got any more text?
Before we go, I'll check the text messages.
Let me see if I got any on here. Hell, I might have some myself. Let's see. Yeah, it's not just like, again, it's not just when he retaliated against, like say Brad Metcalf. And really, when he questions all that stuff, I got a treasurer that keeps up with everything. And when you got any more up there?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody want to know what, in your personal opinion, what do you think should be the disposition? I mean, of course, we know what happened. They dismissed the charges against the chief deputy.
No, they didn't.
No.
They did. Well, they did some of it.
Well, they amended
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What should be his punishment as far as being law?
Well, I think so far, when you look back, he's either fired a time or two of people that I could find. I didn't really had time to get into it, and he suspended some people over some stuff. I mean, again, that's the sheriff's decision, but he's elected by the public, and if he wants to let what I call a rogue deputy do all that stuff in his department, that's up to the sheriff. But the question needs to be directed at him, in my opinion. And but again, and even going back to when I got elected, Jim, the chief deputy, he supported me in my election. And I backed the blue, and I did all this when we gave him these raises. But when I questioned, it started right out of the gate. When I get all these POs sent to me, okay?
What's a PO?
Purchase order.
Purchase orders.
Okay.
And I get all these purchase orders sent to me, and the county judge signs off for them. Maybe tires, new, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I question, John Greenville, Brad Spalding, all these people. I question them. I said, what's this for? Have you checked, get other prices? Right out of the gate, when I questioned him, it just like I cut off his right ear. Don't question me. I said, well, we got into it right out of the gate on that. I said, hey, I'm the county judge. I'm questioning everything. I question a lot of people. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. I'm not saying you're doing anything illegal. But I want to know if you did your due diligence, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I campaigned on. And we saved some money by doing some of these things in different departments.
Sure.
Animal control, none of them challenged me or got mad except for him. Not one of them.
The chief deputy.
Right out of the gate. None of them challenged me or questioned me or my integrity and actually got into it over some stuff.
Judge, one last question. Somebody asked a question about, you read the statute that as far as giving new employees additional, vacation time or whatever additional benefit in regard for the experience they're bringing to the job.
Yes.
As a new county employee, the question was, why is that only happen with clerical staff?
It's not. That's not accurate.
Okay.
Now, and I'll be the first one. And we've started it. Our employee handbook policy, and we started it and doing it. It's way outdated. It needs to be updated basically on what you just said. Part of it. And I already talked to Sean at Dispatch. If you want to bring in some people that we need to hire, that's got 4, 5, 6, 7 years of experience, they need to come in at this level.
Mm-hmm.
The ambulance service, we already do that. There's some in there, depends on their whatever they've got. If they got an EMT or they got paramedics or paramedic times, whatever they call it, there's levels that we already do. Mm-hmm. So we do that already. And the road department, if you got a CDL, you get an extra, you get more money.
Right.
So there is some provisions in there, but I'll be the first to say it's and that's I inherited. I'm not blaming Judge Watts, whatever. It needs to be updated. Mm-hmm. And I've got county policies from a bunch of judges, and some of them's got these step levels in them and everything, and it's very, very confusing. But directly to their answer, that's not accurate. Mm-hmm. We already do that. And when the sheriff and his employees, when the sheriff buys out contracts from other counties, that's another benefit too, right out of the gate. So, but I'll be the first to admit it's not really good. Our policy needs to be cleaned up and updated, and we're working towards that. But
okay. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody who texted a question. I didn't get to some of them. We are just out of time.
I'll be back tomorrow. Marge, you gonna be here? You don't work on weekends? All right.
No, not on weekends.
Well, I'm gonna give my phone number out, Jim, 348-1800. That office call, about anything, anytime. They'll get you to the right department. And my personal cell phone number, 249-0816. Most people's got it. And you can text me or call me. I prefer you to text me because I get so many calls. That way I'll try to respond in a quicker fashion about this subject or any other subject. And thank y'all for having me.
All right, thank you so much, Judge. And I'll see you again next Tuesday. Roth is out of town, so I'll be running the board with you. We'll be back again next Tuesday for Around the County with Judge Executive Tim Hutchins.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Margie. And Margie and I will be back next Wednesday. So stay tuned at 11 o'clock on Wednesday for Bradford and Brooks.
Right.
Until then, we'll see you all later. Take care and have a great day.